Hello there, good evening, and thank you so much for being part of Joyous on Your Life this beautiful evening. And I'm happy to know you're right there watching us as always. Today, like we often do, we're talking about something very important, because when we talk about women, as you already know, the role we play in society, we play a very pivotal role, one that shapes society. I mean, there's no man or woman that is not born by a woman. And if the woman fails in her duty, society fails. And today, that's what we'll be discussing. We have a princess, one who has been doing so much in the society, especially when it comes to sustainable community development, one that targets women. It's a very interesting one, as we have in the studio Princess Felicia Ochuole Igbe, also known as Princess Licia. She's a community leader, a social entrepreneur, activist, politician, value motivator, and businesswoman. There's so much more, but that's too much I can take when it comes to her citation. But it's wonderful to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Joy. Thank you very much for having me.
It's wonderful. The pleasure is really mine. But we're going for a very short break. When we return, it will be time to get to the crux of the matter. How do we get sustainable development for women, especially in the FCT? Interesting conversation. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back. Like I said, we'll be discussing so much, but first of all, I did not mention that she's the founder of Princess Felicia Ochuole Igbe Foundation, and I think that's where we'll start the conversation. What is that foundation all about?
Thank you very much once again, Joy. Thanks for having me here on the Kaftan TV today. The Princess Felicia Ochuole Foundation for Societal Development, lending a helping hand to humanity. It's all about the society we live in, the environment, to help see people progress, to develop people, the youth, the old people, female, male, irrespective of gender, to lend a helping hand to help people grow. We do a lot of school visitations to help the children in one or two of their needs in school. And we also visit hospitals and just general societal help, lending a helping hand to people, and also listen to their needs in whichever way we can come in, and then give them a hope for life. Yeah.
So how do you manage? Because sometimes it gets overwhelming, you know, when you look at the many issues. In my small capacity as Joy Asonya, I can tell you that sometimes when you look at these calls, and they're legitimate, you know, there are several people who are going through several experiences. For somebody like me and you, we want to help everyone. It could get overwhelming. So how do you manage to know who do we attend to first? Who do we leave for now? Who can we help? Who can we let go? Because you must let go some people, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really not easy, like you said, running it alone at the moment, not getting all the helps, you know,
and support
yet. But then, you know, you just put up like a scale of preference, and you weigh the urgency of the matter, and which one comes first. If, for example, if someone needs a classroom book and then someone is sick in the hospital, you know which one to attend.
Exactly. So you go for the one who's ill, of course.
Exactly, because first, life is very important. You need to save life before the education comes. So we just weigh them, and then we try as much as we can. I'm doing it on my own, and I have my team too that work together, and we reach out. Like in the Mother's Day, International Women's Day this year, we were out to feed about 100 and something, about 120 children around my environment where I live here in FCT.
Which is?
Able to, in a Bari Area Council in Kubwa.
Okay.
So we're able to go in there, make some lunch pack for them and some drinks, and then we gave to the kids. And you could see how happy they had, a sense of belonging, you know, coming on a Mother's Day and Women's Day, and then you just take the kids with you, try to play with them and all that. And they feel good about it, and that gives me full satisfaction.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one, but we've been having several it seems like interventions and programs, not just by government, but by NGOs, both local and international, NGOs that have you see the good intentions in everything. You see their roadmap, you see their blueprint for how they want to salvage a community, an underserved community and all that. But it always seems sometimes that it's not impactful. Why? Why is it that NGOs such as yourself get to communities, you do your needs assessment, as I hope you do, and then afterwards it seems like it's not impactful? These people, after your intervention, go back to exactly where you met them. What often happens there?
Thank you very much, Joy. You know, one thing about what you do is when you have passion for that thing. For me, passion don't die. When you have passion for something, you want to sustain it because of that satisfaction that you get in doing it. Some people get into something and at some point they withdraw because they are not actually, for me, to focus matters. If you're focused and you're real in that thing you want to do to achieve results, you keep pushing. Because when you start a thing and you get to a point and then you pull out of it, you go start another one. At the end of the day, you
end up not
nothing.
doing nothing. Exactly.
So you need to love what you're doing. You need to discover yourself. You need to discover yourself. Is this what I really want to do? Do I find satisfaction in this? Am I fulfilled in this? Then you can do it without any looking back. No matter the challenges, you keep saying I can, and then you keep pushing. You know, we've been having several problems on these issues. There's no continuity in things in the country, not just as individuals, even in the government space and all that. You see one government comes in, you see a first lady coming with one program or the other one comes, changes the name. There's no continuity.
Exactly.
If there's continuity, we will get somewhere, because whatever you're doing now is for the future. It's like you laying a foundation of a house and then getting to 2-3 blocks, you let it go, and someone comes start another foundation, then you have a lot of abandoned properties all around. True. And it doesn't look beautiful, even in a city. Then you see that the city is not being developed. It's the same with visions and dreams. When someone comes to the program and then the person starts on the ideology of that program and you see it's for progress, you continue for the youth, for the future. Because whatever we do now
what
is
often happens,
for the future.
It seems like we, the members of the community, are indeed the problem. Because it seems like, I mean, if, like, top of my head is the wife of a governor. That's often what happens. The wife of a governor comes and says, you know, I'm doing empowerment for women. I want to maybe skill acquisition empowerment, which that's the kind of empowerment I often really back. I am completely, everybody who my followers already know that I am completely against the cash transfers that happen. I feel like it could be used, utilized into something more profitable and impactful. But let's talk about a hypothetical situation where a wife of a governor comes, starts some skill acquisition program, like we often hear, and it's starting well. Women are being trained on vocational skills, and it's wonderful. But we now tag that wife of the governor to that project, and so the next person coming in, the successor, will come and say, if she is being given accolades for this program that she's done, is only right that I do my own, so that my name would be in this sand of life, or you know, it would be cast in stone, basically. So are we the problem? Are we addressed? Because these skill acquisitions that are done are not done from private pockets. And it seems like we are giving Princess Igbe. I mean, you're not holding an official position at the moment, but I'm just saying, you're the wife of the governor, or you're the commissioner for women affairs, like we often see, and you come up with a program. What happens? Why is it that is it a mindset change we should have for us as individuals, as citizens, to say, this is the government doing this? And so when the next administration comes, there's no pressure to say, oh, I want my name to be cast in stone. And so they now do something different.
Yes, it's actually an individual thing. Every human being wants to be praised.
True.
It's a selfish thing. You know, we humans are full of self, and we want that praises. You know, for me, I think what is best or what is right is continuity. when someone starts a program and has a tenure of that program, and then when the person is out of office and you come in, your name will also be in that program, because if the continuity is there and Mrs. A starts and you come in and they say from this time to this time is Mrs. A, now Mr. B or Mrs. B or whatever continues. And then the main thing is achieving the purpose, because people keep duplicating programs. And at the end of the day, we don't achieve much. Because like you said, if you empower people, giving them some skills, you know, to learn and all that, learning how to maybe hairdressing or making beads or baking or something, you also need follow-ups.
Exactly.
If you don't follow up, you won't get results.
Exactly.
Because if you teach someone how to bake and the cost for starting a little business, for example, is 50,000 naira, for example, and then you give to that person and you don't follow up, definitely you have not empowered somebody. And you need to create an atmosphere whereby you call them for training on how to manage little businesses, because some people don't really know the difference between their profits and their capital. They go on, and then you just make some sales. Before you know it, the person now uses the capital, and then the person is no more empowered. The person still goes back even worse than where the person is, possibly. So we need follow-up. We need continuity in whatever we are doing, and then we leave that appraisal thing, that self accolades and all that, and so okay, this person's side, I have the same ideology and I think we're on the same. Instead of changing the name, or I want to take the glory for myself, just key in, and then with that we can build for the future, because a lot of things have been long time. People start something and at the end of the day, nobody. For example, let's talk about the heroine Hadiza Ladikwali. This is one woman that has inspired me a lot.
And like she has done a lot.
She has done a lot. This is a woman that never went to school. She could neither read nor write, but then she has a gift and she put it to use. This is a woman that, she's the first woman that her picture is on the Naira note, on the 20 Naira note. You see this woman. She was into poetry, and a lot of people are not doing this now. There's no continuity, and she was really great to an extent that internationally she was celebrated.
Exactly.
Some people always think, I can't do nothing. You have to first of all believe in yourself and just keep pushing, because despite she was not educated, she pulled through. She believed in herself, and she was so wonderful. She was great. To an extent, she even got a doctorate degree.
Exactly.
From what she's doing in one of the most prominent universities in Nigeria, Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria. This woman she's great. You know, I follow her history a lot, and I keep saying that I wish that woman could be celebrated. There could be a day to celebrate her. She died on the 12th August 1984. And luckily for me, I was born on 12th August. So you know, I said to myself, yes, and I said, Ladi Kwali lives again. That's what I said to myself. Yeah. She lives, because I followed her antecedents and everything about that woman. She was really a great woman.
And so there's some level of greatness in all of us.
Yes, it's for you to discover it. Exactly. You have to discover who you are, irrespective of your upbringing or the challenges, but just discover you, and then you are able to push and make yourself great. But when you don't have hope, you give up on yourself, or you're taken by the circumstances around you, the events, you just feel like, I can't do this. You must always tell yourself that you can.
But there are a lot of women actually doing great things in Nigeria, and it seems like we don't have enough celebration of those women.
Exactly.
Why is that? Why is it that there are a lot of Ladi Kwalis all over Nigeria? Yeah. We have it in finance, we have it in the media, we have it in politics as well. Might not have a lot of them, but we have strong women who have shown resilience, who have shown skill in their choice of career interest. Why is it that it seems like we're losing that need to celebrate these women and bring them to the fore, if for anything else, so that there would be inspiration from younger women and have that mentorship that cascades to younger women?
I think there should be more awareness on educating women. Women need to come together more than we are. You see, there's something about women. Most of the time we feel like we're together, but we're really not together. If women can, there should be more programs about women coming out, you know, educating the younger ones, giving them that sense of belonging and making them feel that irrespective of gender, you can do it. We should have more women inclusion in things that we do, even in the political space. Some women don't believe they can go into politics. Some women
would you blame them?
They don't have the strength.
But would you blame women who say, you know what, it's a very vicious setting, and I really am, naturally women are very nurturing. They might not be as brazen as the man would be, and emboldened to take certain decisions that may not be particularly in the interest of all. And that's what the men have to do. Those are steps men have to take to achieve what they want to achieve. When the women see the political terrain in Nigeria and say, I really cannot function here, would you blame them?
Really, Joy, women have more in the inside than they think. I think we look down on ourselves. We are home builders. Our voice can be heard. I keep telling people, you cannot be outside a system and you want to be heard. You have to be a part of it to change things. You want to change a narrative, you want good governance, you want something, you need to be a part. So women don't believe in themselves. And that's why you see sometimes, or most of the time, when a woman comes out for a position politically, she will be the only one to even vote herself. You get one vote.
Yeah, we've recorded that.
But the women are the ones out there in the field, doing all the campaigns for people.
That often surprises me.
They do a lot. And the women are even
me.
having the highest number of voters card. We go out to get our PVCs. They come out in mass and ensure that you vote.
Yes, you ensure that your children are also getting this PVCs.
So if you have that energy to do that and you want something, then why can't you be a part of it?
Okay, I think I've just gotten told now that it's time to go for a short break. We have so much more to discuss, because talking about these women participation in politics, they are the frontliners when it comes to campaign, but it seems like they're not getting attendance or reciprocal votes when it comes to bringing their faces out there. But so much more to discuss. This is still Joy Asonye Live. We'll be back after this short break to discuss more. We still have Princess Igbe right here in the studio. We'll be right back.
Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daily Break Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
Politics,
This is still Joy Asonye Live. Like I said earlier, we have in the studio Princess Felicia Igbe. We've been discussing so much about the Nigerian woman, sustainable development and impactful empowerment that would see women through having the change that we often keep talking about. We had gotten to the conversation to women in politics. It's no news that there's low representation of Nigerian women, especially in the legislature and even in appointments. But what happens during elections? We see women championing. In fact, it's only during elections that we see how rife the Nigerian women can be, how resilient. She's out there campaigning, often campaigning for the man. What happens when a woman sticks her foot out to campaign? Why does she not have as much support? Well, Princess, that question is for you before we get into the FCT woman and the development and impact that she really needs. What happens? I see you campaigning. I mean, I see you campaigning. I see you championing, but it's often for the men. What happens when a woman sticks her foot out?
Well, for me, like I said, women need to believe in themselves.
Okay.
So when a woman is not out there and a man is out there, definitely we're going to campaign for the man, because we need people in power that can push us forward. So women generally, most of them are not bold, and they don't believe in themselves that they can do this. Most especially when it comes to do with politics. They see it like something so hard, so difficult. I can't do this, the stress. But then you're doing it for someone else. Then why don't you come out and say, I'm also going to do this for myself? If you can go all out campaigning and all over the streets, you can also say, let me also be part of this race and see if I can make a difference somehow.
Why are women so distrustful of other women when it comes to campaigns? Because I often hear women say, well, she's a good woman, but I don't think she's got what it takes to, you know, hold that office. Let's give it to the man. Why are we still in that kind of space?
I really don't understand so much on that. It's just something one cannot really explain about women and this men thing and all that stuff. Is it they don't want their fellow women there? I really don't understand why they do that. Sometimes I'm even surprised myself. But when we sit down to talk, you hear them saying, we are home builders, we can do this, let's put things together, you know, we are in charge in the house. If you can do all this and bring up your kids and put a home and handle your husband and all that, then you can also be in front to be a leader. Because leadership starts from the family.
It does.
And mothers are one leaders in the family that you cannot do without.
That's true.
They are always there.
So how are you going to change it? I mean, a little bit told me that you have political ambition, and you already know what you're faced with. The bulk of the votes, which comes from the women, not just in getting PVCs, they're fully true. They will stand in temperatures that are not necessarily conducive, but the women are sure to stand there and vote. So if you have electorates within this category, not vote for you as a woman, especially one who I know you have political ambition, of course. What changes would you bring in terms of tweaking that mindset?
Is to talk to women. You need to talk. You need them to understand who they are and what they have in the inside. You have to do more of the talking, making them to see reason why they should be a part of being in the system. And I always use the word, believing in yourself that you can. Politics has no gender.
It doesn't.
If you're in politics, no one sees you as a woman or sees you as a man. You are in the race, all of you are running together as politicians.
Really?
Yes.
I like your stand because sometimes when I talk to other female politicians, they tell you about how we want the 5 gender bills that was not passed, the 30% affirmation action and all of that. But what are your thoughts on the 5 gender bills that wasn't passed and all the many I mean, women have peculiarities, that's you cannot take it away, but it's like we want the society to admit that we do have these peculiarities and faction it into how they treat us and how we can thrive in society. Do you think it's even necessary to give women concessions?
Well, to encourage women into politics, you need to do that. And that's why you see in so many political parties, when there are payments of fees or something, the women get a little bit of less payment than
But do you
and the
think
men.
it is lip service? Because when you say, oh, we're giving women free political party nomination forms, or we are cutting it into two, we are slashing the prices rather, 50% slash, like we had other political parties do. And yet there's some support you can give that female candidate or female aspirants, and we don't see that support.
It's actually not a lip service when it comes to paying fees, because I know that as a fact. Because it's a way of encouraging women to come in more into politics. No one has shut the doors for women to come into politics.
But in spite of that, what happened to the low representation?
People don't believe they can. And politics is not something that is just really easy. You need to be prepared. You need to know that you want to be out there to do the job. It's time consuming too.
Right.
You have meetings here, you have meetings there.
Not to mention you still have family.
Yes, you have family. So for a woman, and also for some women, maybe because of family, husband and all that, not allowing them, because you can be in meetings till night. A meeting can be called at any time. You need to attend. And then going down to the grassroots and all that, trying to meet the people down there that you want to work for, you must be all out. So women fear maybe that time they have to put in to do those things. And if you're not that dogged woman that want to take the bull by the horn, you will just feel, I can't do this. But some of us need a change, and we have decided to be out. So our voices too can be heard, and we can also help in societal development and change the narrative of some things that we don't want. But for me, there is no gender in politics.
There's no gender in politics.
There's no gender in politics.
I mean, if you have to do the late night meetings, you have to
do it.
But are we ready? Having worked, you are a politician, so having worked with other female politicians such as yourself, are we ready? Are we there yet? Are you seeing women who have shown some sort of readiness to do the midnight meetings? Because a lot of decisions, like they often say, is not often done in the boardroom.
Exactly. In the Nigeria of the now, we have women that are ready. We have women that are ready to move now more into politics, because we need a change.
Right.
And we have to be part of the system to get that change.
Princess, I know you have a flair and passion for the FCT people, indigents of the FCT, and women especially, of course, but you have shown that motherly care towards the FCT residents. So my question now would be, what do you think, looking around, what do you think the FCT residents really need? You know, the FCT is quite peculiar. So when you say residents, indigents are waiting to hear, you know, their representation as well. What do you think they really need?
What they need is someone to speak for them, a voice that can relate their needs around their community, and then they see those needs being met. There are a lot of youths out there that need empowerment in different levels. So many of them. Like in the area where I live, I've been living around that area for a very long time now. And that's Buhari Area Council in Kubwa. And you see a lot of youths. In fact, Nigerian youths are hard-working people. And they are people that don't give up. So if you give them a little push, a little empowerment, give them that belief that there's hope that they can do better, they will move. They will move. So I believe, and I feel what they need is that encouragement, reaching them and try to make them see that there's hope. They should keep doing what they can do best, and then the ones you can reach out to, like my foundation does, you reach out to them.
Okay.
In whichever capacity. Just give them something they can hold on to, they can do. If the person has a talent of something, you just try to help that person to have that push. And then the person starts from somewhere, and gradually everyone will be liberated.
Okay, so a lot of, like we had established earlier, we've had people come up with several initiatives and programs and all of that. And you said that the Nigerian youth is very resilient.
Yeah.
However, when you look at the Nigerian youth, and I want us to be very frank. I mean, the 21st century seemed to be happening to us in a surprise. Like, we're not ready for what we are seeing. A lot of us see a lot of things, and we're like, really? A couple of years ago, this would have been an aberration. This would just have been like completely out of it. Does it concern you when you look at the Nigerian youth, when you look at the FCT youth, when you look at young girls, their moral compacts? Does it concern you that it's leading to a trajectory that's not necessarily good? I mean, what's happening to our morals and principles?
A lot. It concerns me a lot. The society we're living in now, a lot of youths have lost it. And parents have a lot of work to do. It's not like way back when we were being brought up by our parents.
Exactly.
The training now is really different. Parents
Seems
have
like it's
a
all
lot,
watered down.
a lot to do. You know, when we were kids, there's a way you sit down.
I'm from Calabar,
It's
I'm
problem.
from Cross River State. The way you walk as a girl
Your
is a
mother
problem.
will say this. There's a way you eat. It's problem. You eat fast. Why are you eating? Who's chasing you? Who's
Yes,
pursuing
you
you?
eat like a lady.
Eat like a lady. This
You
one,
walk
that
like
one.
a lady. You sit like
You
a
see,
lady.
like these days is really hard. The parents have a lot to do, because you could be in your own house doing your beat, and the children are also interacting, bringing their own training from there.
But irrespective of that interaction, I mean, we all had those renegades, those ones who would want to push you a certain way. What happens? In spite of that, you're like, no, my home training would not let me engage in what you're asking me to.
Joy, right now, some of the parents are not helping matters. It's like when we were kids, like I keep saying that. You go to school when you do something wrong and your teacher spanks you or something, and you come home. You dare not even tell your mother. But these days, you see parents going to the school to even fight the teachers.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if you read that story of somebody who wrote jam, who was caught writing jam for his son. I was wondering,
I saw the
exactly
story.
what would I tell my father, my own father,
To go and write
to
jam for you.
follow me to the examination
And
hall.
write and write.
But that's what we're saying now.
When we were kids, you fail exam. Coming home, you're crying from the road.
Yeah.
With that result sheet. You're crying. But these days, a lot of them don't even care. So parents have
where
a
did
lot.
we get it wrong?
Parents have, it's just interaction. Parents have a lot, and parents are not as hard as they used to be then. A lot of women these days, they give their children a lot of leverages. Like you see a mother will buy a dress for her little girl going to party. Some people even make their babies up with lipstick
As a
at
child.
1 or 2 as a child. As
So
a
that's why
child,
also grows up
we
thinking,
only use lip gloss or this blue seal Vaseline or something on our
exactly,
lips.
Exactly.
You know, some parents to an extent, a little child, they are even buying the baby bleaching creams.
Yeah, I've seen
They are no
several-
more natural. So when you start like that, then what is coming? You are the cause. So those are the problem. The parents have a lot to do, but we still have some though that are still that hard. Because for me, I remember as a child, my mom was a disciplinarian. We're 6 in numbers, 1 boy and 5 girls. So she was really up with the ladies. So those are the things until now she is, because she lives with me in the house.
Right.
Even at my age now, if I'm going out, where are you going to? The time I'm
Exactly.
coming back, why this late?
Exactly.
You see, a mother is always a mother. My mom would tell you that an okra plant cannot grow more than
you will bend it over to
you
pluck
bend it
it.
up and over. So those are the things. You cannot, a child comes home and being beaten by the class teacher, and then you go there and then you start fighting. Though I'm not saying the teachers should be to an extent the children have scars and all that.
Exactly.
No, you can spank, you can correct, because they spend most of the time with the teachers. So this thing starts from the family, and thank God today we are celebrating International Family Day.
Exactly. Coincidentally.
So parents have a lot to do. We have a lot to do in the house with our kids, the training. we give to them. You see, when you go out and you do something wrong and someone says lack of home training, the insult is to the parents.
But by the way, that's another problem. There's such a time that when you say this person lacks home training, oh, you go pepper you.
Yes. Yes.
There was such a time. If you even say that, there was the need to keep your family name.
Exactly.
But that's all eroded. Now, the lack of home training, I didn't even get. They would openly tell you that I did not get any home training whatsoever. And that concept of shame that used to, direct you. I'm like, no, I don't want any shame on me, on my family members, and all of that is all gone. So, as a community leader yourself, I would like to ask, where do you think we can start in retracing our steps?
Having trainings for the youths.
Because it seems like the family has failed. So, yes. Community leaders such as yourself would champion this.
Training for the youths. And make them know that if you don't start now with your life, your future is gone. It might seem as if you're having fun, having a good time. The life is even more hard than where we are coming from. So they should be more focused and more serious. You have to tell them and give them reasons why they should be able to focus, because the future ahead of them, if they don't start now, will be terrible.
So we're having mothers, these young people become mothers and they're training another generation. So while we have these trainings, like you have said, for the youths, what's going on with, because we're seeing very dire situations. It seems like it's getting worse every time. So I don't know, would it be simultaneous with parents? Should we have summits for parents as well? Because when you look at the society, that need to do more, you want to do more, you want to outshine the next day, you read books and read about people who had made impact in society. That's your focus. And so, like you said, you read about Ladi Kwali all the time. That's the stories that some of us grew up with. So should we have also like a summit for parents?
It's also a good idea. There are a lot of young mothers out there that don't really know what it is to be a mother. So people need to have training too, summit for women, and also people should read. People should read and discover themselves, and also how to bring up a home. There are books for that.
Exactly.
There are books, because we have a lot of young people going into marriages these days. Though in our parents' time too, they were very young at 14, 15, they were getting married. But somehow I don't really know where they got that strength and that, that they trained us up like this. Very good moral upbringing. How a lady should dress, how you should move and all that.
How you should
walk. You should cover your body.
Exactly.
You dress, you put on your dress. We have this, what they call, is this shimmy or something?
Yes.
But these days
on the skirt.
Yes, on the skirt.
I was in a mall not recently, and a young lady passed by me, and what she wore, I would have died if, say, I slipped off a couple of years back and somebody saw that under my dress and saw what she was wearing and said, oh, I saw your black tights, or I saw, oh my goodness, it would have been horrible. But now that is what they wear openly. And
the norm for them.
Yeah, and
they are very comfortable.
It's even worse when you go on social media. It seems like there is no line. There used to be a line. There used to be like, oh no, at this point you draw the line. But it seems like there's no line any longer. So before I let you go, I would like you to just talk about the FCT, the people listening to you right now, and maybe getting bleak with the economic situation they are facing. What would be your advice to these people?
Thank you very much once again, Joy. Thanks for having me here on the show. What I want to leave with the FCT people is, don't give up, don't lose hope. The best is still ahead of us, but we have to start now. Believing in ourselves that we're going to get it right. All hands on deck, and we should all try to discover ourselves and have something to do that can keep us going, irrespective of the economic challenges that we have. I believe there's still hope ahead. We're going to have a better Nigeria.
We're going to
someday.
We're going to have a
Someday.
better Nigeria. That's a very wonderful one. Just keep hope alive. We're going to have a better Nigeria. And I know, like I said, we can't discuss your elections, your upcoming elections. Just
campaigns have not
campaigns
started
have
yet.
not started, but
Yeah.
it's exciting to see a woman. It's always exciting for me, and I've always had that issue where, in my excitement, that there's a woman who is contesting, who has the guts to go out there. You know, it's difficult to sit where you're sitting. I have invited several female politicians, and they're like, I'd rather not appear on air. I don't know what you would say. I don't want to mess up, but I'm really happy, and I'm happy you're out there. You're showing young ladies or young women that, you know, as you dream it, you can get it. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure for me.
Thank you.
So we've had Princess Felicia Ochuole Igbe, also known as Princess Lisha. She's a community leader and social entrepreneur, activist, politician, value motivator, and businesswoman. It's been a very interesting conversation. We've talked about about everything really when it comes to the FCT, the empowerment that impacts, and several more. Thank you so much for being part of the program. I'm happy to know you watched us through. This is Joy Asonye Live. Rest assured, we'll be back tomorrow with so much more. Do have a restful evening.